FNAF is full of mysteries and puzzles. It's what made us fall in love with the series in the first place, and what made us utterly despise it later on. Wait, just me? Well, no matter what, a load of these mysteries have been solved, but some of them haven't. And those mysteries that have no clean answers are what we're exploring today. Let's do it. An intent FNAF 3 ending. Which FNAF 3 ending is canon still isn't actually solidified. Most people assume it to be the good ending since it takes more work and we set the souls of the original 5 missing children free, but in reality we don't know which ending really happened in the main timeline. When asked about it in an interview with Daco, Scott Cawthon said that he wasn't going to answer it, since he knows how the community gets with things, and cited the argument over Mangle's gender as a reason why he wouldn't answer. But in my mind that would just be more of a reason to answer it, so that we would stop fighting over which ending is correct, because then we would have a definitive answer. You didn't give us a definitive gender for Mangle, did you? I don't know. But that's a theory for another day. There was also the common 2 eyes theory that aimed to explain that there were 2 souls inside of Golden Freddy, since Golden Freddy had 2 eyes lit in the bad ending of FNAF 3. However, this is also not true, since the character of Crying Child wasn't even introduced yet, and this was planned to be the final game of the series. So why would an animatronic suddenly have 2 souls inside of it in the last game? And the light in the other eye is just because it's bouncing off the inside of the helmet. That's how light works. Other animatronics in that scene also have some light in their other eyes. So basically everything about FNAF 3's ending is still a mystery. And at 9, Vanny's fate. Vanny's fate from one of the most recent endings is also a mystery when you look at it. In the canon ending to Security Breach, the one where we fight against William Afton in the form of Burn Trap, in that ending we actually don't see what happens to Vanny. While yes, Burn Trap might have been dealt with, we don't know if that releases Vanny or if she's still under his control. Plus, we don't know what she's doing while all of this was going down. When there's a canon ending, you expect the main antagonist of the game to be there. So when Freddy and Gregory are sitting on that hill chilling, what comes next for the series? This is a question that I genuinely don't have an answer to, and honestly that I couldn't have an answer to. There are so many possibilities now that it's practically impossible for me to guess, and actually I'm pretty sure that's the point. But what do you think? Do you think Vanny survived, or was she caught in the collapse of Roxy's Raceway among with potentially the rest of the Pizzaplex? Be sure you let me know your thought process and theories in the comments below or on my Instagram, okay? Because I'm genuinely curious. And at 8, possession rules. Possession in the FNAF universe is very interesting. However, it's not something that we fully understand yet. There are a couple things we know, like how agony is one of the most powerful emotions that stretches out further from the body than any other emotion, but we don't really know if agony grabbing hold of something and what we call possession are the same thing. We don't know if when you die, if it's your remaining agony or if it's supposed to be your spirit grabbing on. We also don't really know any other rules, if there are any. We don't know if you need to be close to the thing that you're possessing, assuming that possession and agony are different, since if agony is what we are calling possession, then we would need to be around the thing that we're possessing. It reaches out further from the body than any other emotion, but it doesn't reach out like 5 miles, okay? And we know very little about the rules of possession just in general in the series. And you know what? That's probably going to stay that way. I mean, like, if we knew the rules, it would mean that the series would also be confined to those rules. But by never establishing them to begin with, the games can do whatever they want, and then we can't really question it since they never said that it couldn't happen. It's genius, but it's annoying. And it's 7, tally marks. The security logbook has a load of little things that we don't quite understand. One of which is the various tally marks that we find throughout the book. We find 5 on page 9, 10 on page 19, 14 on page 31, 5 on page 36, and another 5 on page 100. Nobody has really been able to determine what these are meant to mean. Some have theories that it's meant to spell out Crying Child's name and Evan, and then they had to stretch to find the N, but like nobody has really figured it out, okay? The word search doesn't have 100 spaces, alphanumeric ciphers only yield a group of letters, not a word, and nowhere else in the logbook is there something that really relates to these tallies. They're a seemingly totally arbitrary thing that has no impact on the story, but they have to mean something, right? They aren't just there for no reason. They have to be like some sort of answer or code, but nobody has been able to find anything concrete as far as I can tell as of yet. And if this isn't the case, again, excluding the whole Evan thing, because that's a stretch, let me know in the comments. But until I can find that, we're here with no explanation. The only thing that I can think of is maybe it represents the amount of victims that William took, since they seem to appear with like the appearance of a new character from a new game. So like the first 5 talking about a new animatronic, and then the next 10 are the first appearance of Balloon Boy in the book, but others appear around the puppet and stuff. So so like, I don't know. So maybe they're the amount of new victims, but yeah, I'm not sure. And at 6, the STITCHWRAITH. The STITCHWRAITH was a character introduced in the FNAF Frights book epilogues, with each installment of the series giving you another chapter of his story. However, we still have yet to see why the character was introduced and if he will be included in future games. It's possible that this was another planned possible antagonist for whoever was taking over next. However, these books started releasing before Scott announced his retirement, from my memory at least, unless he was planning it beforehand. The STITCHWRAITH is a mysterious figure wearing Phineas Taggart's black trench coat. It wears a white mask, later revealed to be the head of the Simon doll. The mask's features are drawn on with a thick black marker. It has 2 eyes, one of which is blackened, originally intended to resemble a black eye on Simon. It sports a toothy grin with a missing tooth, and something appears to be stuck between its front teeth. It also appears to have blood around its mouth, but it's actually meant to be pizza sauce. I doubt it. The rest of the body is an endoskeleton of unknown origin, and in its chest lies Fetch's battery, which was glowing red when it was first activated. But nothing like that seems to have been spotted in the games yet. So, what do you think? Will we see the STITCHWRAITH on screen and not on pages anytime soon, or will he remain someone for the books? Halfway through into number 5, Mrs. Afton. We know little about Mrs. Afton. We don't even really know if there was a Mrs. Afton. We know that William probably had to have some form of woman in his life, assuming his kids are biological and not adopted or kidnapped. But we also have no idea who this woman was, or if she's currently alive. If she died, or maybe she just divorced William or left him. There have been so many rumors or ideas that were started by different FNAF parody songs and animations involving car accidents and the missus walking in on whatever William was doing, but none of these have ever been confirmed. So treating them as fact is a major mistake, okay? There's also no official name yet for Mrs. Afton. Some people call her Clara because of The Immortal and the Restless, the soap opera from Sister Location, since there was a vampire in purple that people compared to William, which for some reason meant that even though William's name's not Vlad, that Clara was 100% the name of his wife, which, I mean, isn't true, okay? Because like Clara Afton doesn't seem to exist, at least yet. And some, including myself, thought that Vanessa from Security Breach could have been revealed to be Mrs. Afton, but doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Or like maybe at least she could have been the baby mama, but again, that's not happening. And at 4, Client 46. Some believe Gregory to be the mysterious Client 46, able to be found in the retro CDs available at the end of Security Breach using Roxy's eyes. However, others suggest that perhaps Client 46 is Vanny, since Vanny is an alternate persona of Vanessa, and Vanessa is the only other client with retro CDs in the game. Client 46 doesn't talk, at least from what we can hear, but is adept at hacking, something we at least before the game came out associated with Vanny. But if Gregory is a robot, or if he's just a genius, the hacking thing can be easily explained. And Vanessa is asked about making her costume, whereas Client 46 is seen talking to someone in a bunny costume, or at very least the costume. And if that was Vanny, why would she be talking to her costume? It just seems weird. The cameras, when they talk though, are also glitching, indicating that the bunny is actually Vanny. There is also the fact that Vanessa leaves in disc 12 or so, and 46 doesn't leave until the end of disc 16. I still think that it's Gregory, but hey, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, right? Unless they share it on a YouTube video, according to some of the comments I've been seeing. But again, it's a mystery that we don't have an answer for. Getting close to the end, into number 3, the bite of 87. I'm gonna be straight with you. We still don't know who caused the bite of 87, or in reality, who the bite of 87 was on. We have theories. Like, we have a theory that Mangle, Freddy, or Chica bit Jeremy, but theories do not equal fact. This incident has been on our minds since the first game, and we haven't been able to come up with a definitive confirmed answer. If you ask me, that's almost certainly a mystery. It's been 8 years and we still haven't gotten a direct answer. And if anything, we've gotten conflicting answers. We thought it was Mangle because she goes for the top of the head, but then the handprint on Freddy's face seems to indicate that it was him, and then Ultimate Custom Night caused Toy Chica to say, "Where's my beak?" lodged in your forehead, of course, which makes it seem like it was her. We have no real answer despite what you're going to tell me in the comments. That's right, I know that you're all angrily commenting about how it's confirmed canon, but it's not. It's really not. Unless Scott clearly says Mangle caused the bite and the bite was Jeremy, all we have is theories, which means that this is still an unsolved mystery. But ultimately, into number 2, Afton's fate. The true ending of Security Breach is seemingly one of the scariest parts of the game for me. me because it contains a load of things that scare me when it comes to the series' lore. One of them being plenty of unanswered questions and unsolved mysteries along with vague endings. After making your way into Burntrap's area, Freddy will be taken over by Afton's newest form. But then it's up to Gregory to defeat him by using 3 monitors and buttons to burn him, one of the lamest boss battles in history. Players will also need to avoid the animatronic enemies that come for Gregory that aren't Burntrap, and then you'll have to use the doors to temporarily lock them out, or you'll have to get inside Freddy and then scare Roxy away. When Springtrap is finally burnt for the last time, the Blob, which was that whole tentacle monster Rule 34 kind of thing, will attack him, making sure that he doesn't get free. Hopefully. Freddy and Gregory will then be shown escaping and sitting on a hill together. However, if the Blob actually does kill William, that's a whole other question, okay? There are death animations in the game files, however, they aren't used in the ending, so we can't count them as canon. Plus, the whole I always come back thing should have ended with this game from what we understood about the series, but he came back nonetheless, so even logical conclusions aren't gonna help us here. God, just please, let William finally be dead, for the love of everything, please. I think that unfortunately Afton being resurrected or returning in some form or another is inevitable. Like, I don't get why. Like, at this point, we can move on from this killer and have a whole new one, but a load of people seem to think that we need Afton back. And finally, in at number 1, Origins. This is number 1 because I know for a fact that it's going to make plenty of FNAF fans mad. However, we don't know why William Afton started killing. He was planning on killing before his children died, since every single one of his kids died due to his desire to kill others. Elizabeth died because he built the baby murder bot along with the other Funtime murder bots. Crying Child died because he was bit by superpowered Fredbear, and Michael died because he was trying to right his father's wrongs and got burnt alive trying to fix everything. And because his kids died was our only good lead, we have nothing now. In the books, he learns about Remnant and then wants to harness it to become immortal, but he learns this after starting his killing spree. We've made multiple videos about possible William Afton origins, a few of them being wild and crazy like a demon deal gone wrong, and some are more character focused like maybe his wife leaving or dying caused a psychotic break, but all are still equally possible since there isn't much evidence for any theory. They're all just speculation. Because after all, even if it did have evidence, it would just be theories. Just FNAF theories. And yes, that's a reference to matpat. Every time I say that, people get confused for some reason, okay? I'm referencing matpat there because he says it's just a theory, a game theory, at the end of every game theory episode, okay? I'm not stealing it from him. I'm not doing anything shady. It's a reference. Everyone knows what I'm doing, okay? So just chill. That's all the time we have for today, friends. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been in Shadow Remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video.